Hey everyone, welcome to the Discover Virginia podcast. I'm Joseph Trahan, your host for the #1 video podcast in Virginia, where we explore the rich history, vibrant culture, and iconic businesses that make our Commonwealth truly special and worth talking about. So get ready as together we discover Virginia. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are joined by fitness creator and also enthusiast of all things running marathons, doing cool tricks, Sarah Bond. Sarah has not only partnered with local brands and restaurants like Born Primitive, but has also been featured in quite a few things that I'm gonna have to take a look at my notes here. Muscle Fitness, and also featured in Times Square for her work in gymnastics. Sarah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. We are super pumped and we are thrilled to dive into your journey. So folks listening today, we're going to be covering, some of the proven systems Sarah has built out for sustainable habits, as well as no crash diets, as well as the desire to promote really a happy and healthy lifestyle. You ready to jump right in?
I'm ready.
So you grew up in Suffolk, and is it true that for promoting Suffolk skydiving, you jumped out of a perfectly good airplane to promote their brand and messaging? Is that true?
Yeah. I literally had always wanted to go skydiving, so it was like the coolest experience to be able to do that, especially like in the area.
Yeah. So very cool. And it seems like, throughout your journey, there's been this constant theme of fitness, and not only fitness, but also of faith that's really played a pivotal role in both your personal and professional life so far. Can you take us back to those early days, those early years of when you were first introduced to both of them and how they became intertwined to what we see today?
That's actually a really good question. So growing up, I was a competitive gymnast, and that's like all I did other than like church, and then I was homeschooled, so I did school like at the gym. That's how much I was there. So kind of like the mix of them. I grew up really like with a good foundation in my church and in my faith. And then with gymnastics, that was the other foundation. So with gymnastics, there's like a lot of mental blocks, a lot of fear, like mindset work you have to do.
Sure.
And I kind of like realized throughout the years, like my faith in God is kind of what's helping me get through the hard times. And it just really helped me like progress in my athletics, but also like in my faith with God. So like growing those together really helped me like, I guess, make it through the seasons.
Yeah, because it's very competitive, the field of gymnastics. And fitness in general can be intimidating for a lot of folks. I'm curious, is there a specific person, aside from your faith with God, or person portraying that relationship that you kind of found inspiration from, whether that be a figure or possibly, somebody you read about in a particular story during your faith journey?
I get that question a lot. I feel like I don't have like a specific, this is my person. One, the church really helped me. I go to Wave Church and I love it. Just growing up in that really helped me with like a good community, just good people to surround yourself with. And then other than that, there's just like a ton of just podcasts and books I've listened to or read just to help me. I can't like specifically name a lot, but when I come across things, I'll just read them or listen to them. It's more like me. I like to push myself outside of my comfort zone a bit, because obviously we can get comfortable and it's easy to stay in that space.
Right.
But for me to kind of like push myself out there, encourage myself, just look up to good influences is like the way to go. But there's just so many people out there that I have kind of connected with. It's hard to kind of pinpoint like one person.
Sure.
Also my mom and dad.
Shout out to mom and dad. Yeah. There's so much content and supportive creations out there to really, kind of dig into, what people are interested in and what they might like to grow and excel at. And I know for you specifically, when it comes to your business, that's really where you found your bread and butter and also your specialty. When it comes to fitness trends, though, I'm curious, what are a few of your favorite fitness trends as we kind of begin to broach the subject of fitness, and ones that you recommend folks stay away from when it comes to trends in general?
Yeah, I think the word trend itself is like, in the fitness world, yes, there's trends for like content creation that we can like get around and do it, but trends always fade away.
Sure.
So my goal with fitness and like the way I coach is to create a sustainable lifestyle. So that's finding ways that we can keep it sustainable, and that kind of prevents that like on and off, or what people call crash dieting, because people be like, ooh, this is the new thing, I'm gonna stick with this, and then it goes away, or they just go all in, and then once they've tried so hard to be like perfect, it just you can't sustain that, and then they're like, oh, I can't be perfect, this is not for me,
and then
I'm
you crash.
yeah, so my goal is to like find ways that we can enjoy a healthy lifestyle and keep it sustainable, so we're not doing the trends.
Right. And I'm curious, in what ways has the rise of virtual and online fitness classes really enhanced your business and service offerings overall?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped with me just being able to get the word out there, get myself out there, go to events, things like this, for example. I would never have these opportunities if I didn't put myself out there.
Right.
The only thing is it is a lot. It's so much. It can overconsume your world, basically, trying to keep up with like editing and content and pitching, and you're your own brand. So I'm literally doing everything, which is kind of like, it's hard, but it's worth it, if that makes sense. And a lot of people be like, man, you have so many followers. You probably have like so many people getting to you, and you're just making bank. And I'm like, no, actually, it's like, it is like any business. Like, you have to put in the work, reach out to people. Like, it's not really easy for people to come to me unless I'm going out and like putting in the work to get to them, if that makes sense.
It's a business. Yeah. And you have to invest in the business and hone in on the craft, right?
Yeah.
Now, Sarah, you obviously have a lot of skill set when it comes to, the fitness world and gymnastics, and your just innate ability to really tackle challenges. People might find that a little overwhelming. So I want to bring it back to square one here, because you are such a cool, down-to-earth person, and kind of go over some exercise tips for beginners just to kind of kick off the conversation for fitness. What are the best exercises for someone who is just starting off their fitness journey to begin working towards?
Yeah. I would say, honestly, if you don't have like anything at home, no weights, no equipment, and you want to get started, one, start going for a walk, start learning how to like run, get that endurance. And then the foundation movements would be like squats, sit-ups, and push-ups. Those are just basics you can work on. You can always get better at your sit-ups. You can always get better at your push-ups. I do recommend trying to get into some weights, because we want to work on like building into some progressive overload, which I won't go into full detail, but lifting weights is always going to help you and be so beneficial. And one thing I do want to throw out there, a lot of women think that they're going to just like bulk up and just be huge. But
Sure.
I'm like, no, it takes a lot of work. So just like encouraging them, like, get strong, building a strong foundation, I cannot like encourage enough. It helps so much.
Great tip. Great tip. How often should a beginner, work out? Let's just say, how many times a week would be a good recommendation to start off with?
Yeah, everyone is different. That's also why I do coaching, because it's so personal. But if I could like have a big, wide general audience, I'd say maybe start out just trying to move at least every day and have like one rest day, but like just go out and walk or move your body and work on doing that, maybe even 20 minutes a day, just like walking, and then maybe 3 times a week with those push-ups, sit-ups, and squats.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, for those individuals who maybe have begun the walking journey, the movement journey, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to get some equipment, what recommendations do you have for beginners who are setting up their home gym to just get started?
Dumbbells. Literally, you could just get some dumbbells. Start with like maybe 5s or 8s. Keep on progressing. There's ones that change, so you can change the weight. I think that's a good investment, because then you only have to get like one set.
Sure.
And you can keep progressing and moving the weight. And I think that's one of the best options to start with.
That's a great tip, especially, you see them, they're adjustable, and you can kind of change the sizes depending on, how bulked up you want to be, or how lean and building up that endurance goes.
Yeah.
I want to kind of jump across the aisle now to fitness challenges, because I know you yourself, from, being featured in Times Square and also being featured at a couple different mediums of, this fitness world, there's a lot of different things that probably come across your table for what could be fun or challenging to do. What are some of the popular fitness challenges that you recommend folks to maybe who are interested in those types of exercises really check out or explore?
Depends on the individual again, but if you're someone who's looking to like build strength and endurance and all around just like your ability to move and feel good, some type of like fitness functional challenges. So that's like more on the body weight side, but you're doing like all your movements that you need to do, but working on your endurance as well. So it's like strength and endurance at the same time. I think focusing on those two and your mobility. People forget mobility, and I'm so big on mobility.
Use it or lose it, right?
Yeah. But if you can find some type of like fun challenge, I think I also want to encourage people like what you're interested in. You don't have to do what the other person is doing on their fitness challenge. So just encouraging them like do type of challenge that you want to do and you think you could stick to because you enjoy it more.
Right. Now, when it comes to starting challenges, are there any, I know you mentioned your faith before, are there any other ways or in addition to that, that you use to stay motivated through a fitness challenge, or maybe folks who are, maybe broaching their first fitness challenge, some ways that they can help keep that motivation going for either to, get them to the finish line or at least, challenging themselves to get outside their comfort zone a little bit more?
Yeah, I think comparison is big. That's like a big thing, especially with most women. They'll start to compare to the other person on their journey. And I like to say, like, don't compare your day 1 to someone's day, like 70 or whatever they're on. I'm the same way with myself. Like, I can compare myself to others. And I think that always steals, like, your motivation or encouragement to keep going because you're like, oh, I'm not like them. Like, it's not going that well. It's like, no, this is your start, and you start where you are, and then just knowing and keep telling yourself, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I just have to keep doing it. And you're doing amazing. You're doing better than doing nothing. Like, if you're doing something, that's better than nothing. And then just not focusing so much on working out because you want to change this. Like, I feel like body image, too. A lot of women come to me, they're like, I just want to lose weight. I want to look like this. And then when they're in the gym, they're like, almost beating themselves up because they're just in there because they don't want to be like this, and it's like a chore. But instead, like, setting goals is something I think is so important, like long-term goals, short-term goals, and that way you have something to look forward to versus the opposite end, if that makes sense. So you have a reason, you're like why behind why you're training.
I love that. And that's one of your specialties as a coach, is really redefining what success or the goal looks like, because it is so easy to scroll on Instagram and see people doing, unique challenges, or, they have a body type that maybe what you're going for, but isn't necessarily where you're at yet. And that can be, sounds like a hindrance for folks, as opposed to a motivation factor. Yeah. Now, the next subject, my personal favorite, recovery and rest, regardless of the amount of exercise it involves for me personally. But I understand for you, you've done some work with Seaside Spa over at the Founders Inn Hotel. Why is recovery and rest important when it comes to building a fitness routine in general?
Yeah, because this is funny because I always am big on, like, recovery, but I need to listen to myself too. Like, as coaches, we also need to work on this. But rest is just important because your body needs to recover. Like, if you're breaking down those muscles, they need to repair. If you're not giving them time to repair, they're not going to be building back up. Your body's just going to be breaking down. So rest is actually as important as your workouts too, because you need to give your body time to recover so you can come back with, like, the same amount of energy that you would have had before. But if you're not giving yourself that time, then it's just not exactly, your body's just getting so tired and so exhausted.
Going to be burnt out, right?
Yeah.
How do you stay active outdoors during the different seasons here in the Virginia Beach area? Because I know we have somewhat of a traditional winter. Sometimes we have snow, and also, from Suffolk to Virginia Beach, we get a range of weather patterns. What does that look like for you as a coach and trainer?
One, we have a lot of good gyms. There's a ton of good gyms out there. So just finding ones that you want to go to, just to stay in. I usually like that, obviously, in the winter time as well. But in the summer, we have the workout beach at the ocean front. I forgot what street it's on. It's like 31st, I think.
Is it near the Neptune statue?
Yeah,
it's
31st
near the
Street.
Exactly.
I love that. So there's, like, rings and bars and ropes, and you can go out there and do, like, your calisthenics or your body weight workouts and just be out in the sun and then literally go jump in the ocean. That's probably one of my favorite things to do in the summer. I get a lot of friends out there, and we just go hang out.
Very cool. And then the rest and recovery fits itself because now you're already at the beach, right?
Yeah, you get to chill.
I love that. So are there what are some effective ways to incorporate rest into the workout schedule? Like, I mean, obviously, if you're doing kind of like, let's just say a couple times a week, like, is there a recommendation for how often you should rest versus work out? Or if there's just kind of like a feeling you get in your body, like, how does that work for scheduling that?
Yeah, I think for beginners, it's more like trying to kind of schedule it in, but also push yourself because you're at that fine line between like not fully knowing how to push yourself as much because you're learning to do that.
Right.
So just kind of scheduling in a little bit of rest days, maybe on the weekends. But once you start to feel it out more and learn your body, it's more just like, your body needs rest. Like it's important just knowing when you're like, all right, I need to take this day off, so this is going to be my rest day or rest time. So it's kind of just learning to listen to your body.
Yeah, that's such a great tip, such an underutilized tip, I think, because you think of, the traditional Rocky Balboa or, Simone's, Simone, the tennis player who they just seem like they're always going at it, where it's like, oh no, it's okay to take a break and have rest and really kind of like reset yourself. Just so cool.
It's what I'm working on right now. My friends are going to call me out. They're going to be like, Sarah, listen to what you're saying. And I'm like, I know.
That's what friends are for. And community, I mean, the fitness community here is pretty strong. And I understand you offer a few different services around that. Do you mind highlighting maybe in particular the content that you create as well as the application that you have for, getting folks motivated and providing that really 360 service of in-person and online coaching?
Yeah. So basically you're asking like what the services I offer.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I do online coaching and I do in-person. Right now I have a few in-person clients. Those spots are kind of getting fuller, but I want to do more like group classes as well. That way I can just have more people. So those are some options that I do, and we're just going to go about like your training. It's so personal. Like I said, that's why I like coaching, because one workout routine or one schedule is not going to fit everyone. So that's one of the options I do. And the other is online. So it's still very personal, but you can take it with you everywhere. And I like this one because you get a full program. So I basically schedule everything out for you based on you and your availability. Everything's laid out on a calendar, and there's like a rundown of your workout that I give you. We have tutorial videos for every exercise, access to message me. I do nutrition as well, and it's nutrition coaching. So basically I'm just kind of like giving you the tips and tricks you need to keep your nutrition sustainable and not just like handing you a meal plan. So I'm like guiding you and teaching you. Yeah, that's pretty much the route about it. I also add in mobility because, like I said, it's so important and it often gets neglected.
Why do you think that is? Why does mobility get left? I mean, it's what we do. We're always moving. You're creatures of habit,
I think we're so focused on wanting the results of, like, how we look or, like, the results of our training that mobility just kind of falls on the sideline, and we're like, it's not as noticeable, I guess, when you're getting strong. You're not like, oh, this muscle got here because I stretched.
Right.
So I think it's just more of, like, the visual. But since I'm a gymnast, I know the importance of it, and I feel like a lot of athletes do. But getting out of it, you kind of forget. But it's literally so important to prevent, like, injuries, just give you more range of motion, just feel better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Love that. All right, Sarah. Well, thank you so much again for jumping on the show today. We really appreciate your time. We have one final section, and that is, of course, going to be the red carpet, where we leave you to share a final message with the audience.
Okay.
But before you get there, we have to go through some rapid fire questions should you decide to choose.
Oh, I get to choose.
You get to choose. We can end the show here, and we'll leave your red carpet some other time, some other guest, or if you do some rapid fire, you can make it there.
I'll go.
I think you can make it there. Yeah. Okay. First one. What are some fun fitness activities that families can do together here in and around the Virginia Beach, Suffolk area?
I know, like I said, there's a lot of gyms around here, so just finding a local gym, seeing if they have any, like, challenges or things coming up, because some gyms, they do have little workouts or events going on, so it's just kind of like finding the gym in your area.
What are your thoughts on the cold plunge?
I don't like it, but I like it because it helps me with my mindset and it helps with recovery as well.
Does it really help with recovery, or is it just a trend?
I'm actually still learning that a lot. I've done a lot of research. For me, I know that, like, I just feel better right after a workout. Like, one, you just kind of feel fresh, and then two, mindset for me.
Sure. what are some budget-friendly family fitness activities that folks can do? Maybe if they're looking to, involve the kids, maybe do some stuff around the house. What would that look like?
I would say go to a park. You don't have to pay for that. And they have bars usually, and the kids like it, so they want to go out and do that. But you can go with them, so you could do like a little run, and then you can find a little challenge to do with your kids, which is really fun. And I think getting the family involved is such a good priority.
You make it sound so fun and easy. Is it actually fun and easy?
I'm that weird person that loves to just push myself and be in the gym.
I mean, just talking about it sounds fun and easy. So I'm kind of like calling myself out too, because we have kids. We go to the park and I see the bars or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
No, I'm that coach that I'm like, this is gonna be so fun, and everyone's like, oh no, it's gonna be rough because she said it's gonna be fun. Yeah. But I think you can learn to love it. So just finding things, like I said, that you enjoy, or the more you do it, the more you start to realize the benefits, and then you start to enjoy it more.
Right. Do you think that, this is the last rapid fire for you, do you think that doing exercise and staying active kind of increases your energy level overall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think every single client I've ever had, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I have so much energy. Sometimes I've had a wife, she didn't want to come to me for a while because her husband encouraged her to come, because she was just tired and didn't think she would have the energy to do it. And now every time she's with me, she's like, I feel so good.
That's what we love to hear. Sarah, thank you so much. You've made it through the rapid fire question section. Now this is your time. This camera here, share any final messages or words you want to leave the audience with. The floor is all yours.
I just want to encourage you guys to get out there and get active. One, like we just talked about, you'll feel so much better, you'll have energy, and it's so important for the long run, too, of being there with your kids and your grandkids and being able to move with them. So I just encourage them, and if you ever want to reach out to me, you can message me on Instagram. It's at Sarah with an H, N, and then DOROUGH, so at Sarah N. Duro.
Love it. Sarah, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
That was fun.